Today, Siyata Dishmaya, we're going to try to go in deeper into the Gemara. So let's go over quickly the Braisa, Tosefta. The Tosefta says that a firstborn son, he takes from the inheritance a double portion. And the Chiddush of the Braisa is, even in the Zroa Lechaim HaKeva, which are gifts that the Kohanim, one of the 24 gifts the Kohanim receive. And the Gemara wants to know, Ahai Azroa Lechaim HaKeva Echidomi. This is 4 lines from the big, from the 4 lines down from the big lines, and of Kuf Chav Gimel Amud Beis. Ahai Azroa Lechaim HaKeva Echidomi. And by the way, they know how to connect to this phone?
This is just shooting the shield. This is not Zoom.
I thought it's been called.
No, this is not Zoom.
Okay, 1 second. So he's going to bring the Zoom. What's the case? That statement, Kuf Chav Gimel, 123b, down from the big lines. The case of the Mishnah, of the Braisa, the Tosefta actually, in Bechoros, chapter 6, the case there, that it says that a Bechor receives a double portion, to receive a double portion, and even in Zroa Lechaim HaKeva. So the Gemara wants to know, Eichidomi, what's the case? Eichidomi, what's the case? Moshe's already on. Good. כן, עובד. ברוך השם. Eichidomi, what's going on? What's the case? If those gifts came to the hands of the father, means before he died, the Osili Deda Avuni came to the hands of the father before he died, Pshita simply gets double share, because it's mamish muchzak, it's something that he owns. What's the difference if I own chulin, or if I own gifts of kahuna? What's the difference? Is monetary ownership. So Vadai, that should go into inheritance. Yes, good morning, Yosef.
You know, Mikhail sent me yesterday's shiur.
Yes.
You have to thank him. He sent it to me in such a beautiful form. I'm listening. I've just spent the last hour and a half with yesterday's shiur.
Wow.
Back and forth, slow motion, back and forth. I only did half of yesterday's shiur. It's mama's fantastic. You can do it every day. That's the way. That's what I used to do with Rabbi Saxton. That's what I missed.
Okay, so now you're going to have. So now Michael, you heard what you said, and hopefully we'll continue on today. Bezrat Hashem. Well, I'm holding right now. I'm holding now 4 lines down from Kuf Chav lines from big lines and Kuf Chav Gimel Base. I'm starting the Gemara again. We're going to glance through today, Bezrat Hashem, through the Rashbam Shita. Then we're going to go to the Tosfot Shita and other Rishonim Shita. Acha b'makir ekuna askinan. Yes, looks to be a machlokas. We'll see. See, there is, there isn't. Maybe there isn't. Maybe there is. It looks like there is, but really there isn't. We're in the depths. We're going to see. Yes.
Did I make a mistake yesterday when I said that David Amel, all the show, he put the foundation in? Because he put the foundation, the name of the temple, even though he didn't build it, his son built it, Shlomo, it was attributed to him.
Right.
Is that like saying Rui
Muhzak?
Kumuksa?
Yeah, but I said they're different. There, it's not only Raui, they actually started to build.
Yeah, but everyone that did everything, all the fathers that left for the Makor, they started everything. They did everything.
We're going to see what they start here.
What they did.
Here, what they started.
It's their stuff.
Talk about the Zvar Chaim Ekeva. What's the case?
It's not like Yerusha Bekever.
It's true. But when we talk about Raui means potential.
Yeah.
Let's say Raui is, I inherited my kids a plot of land, but the children plant the trees. So the father didn't do the foundation. He inherited part of land and he built a house. He didn't pour the foundation. By David HaMelech is different. He poured the foundation and he gave all the money. Yeah, rather, he raised all the money and he built the foundations. It's different.
Is that Rui?
I think it's more. It's
what
actually
he did was more than Rui.
Yes.
He also, there's still, the curse is still there.
Right.
We still have what David HaMelech made. It's still there.
And he was supposed to finish the job, but Hashem told him to stop. He was supposed to finish.
Because with sin as
He had all the power to finish.
No, because he had blood in
Because
his
he went
hands.
to war, he killed people.
When he had blood in his
He
hands,
had blood in his hands. That's why.
even though justice blood, but he told him not to build.
Otherwise, he would have been able to. He
Right,
had the merit for it, but he couldn't
right.
because of that.
Right.
So it's more. What he did is not called Rui.
I think it's more than Raui. It's not mamash muhzak, but it's more than Raui. Okay. Good. So what's the case? If those gifts came to the hands of the father, pshita, simple, vadai, obviously that this firstborn son should inherit double share what the father owns.
So that when the Mishnah says, cannot be that case.
Cannot be that case.
I mean,
Why? Because the Tosefta tells the Chidush.
The simple.
Mishnayos, Braises, it tells the Chidush. Not simple. Ve'id la'osi lidei da'avon. Yes, Reb Shmuel. I'm reading Kuf Chav Gimel Amud Beis. 4 lines down from the big lines. In Gemara, yes. Kuf Chav Gimel Amud Beis. 4 lines down from the big lines. If the Zerah L'chaim V'Kavod didn't come to the hands of the father, Rayu, it's just potential. And we know the rule is Ein Ve'ein HaBechor Noitel B'Roikem HaMuchzok. A firstborn son doesn't receive a double share, and Raui, something which is potential or proper to come on to the father. Rather, only Muchzok, what the father's holding physically, really holding in his hands.
But when he says Roy, when he says Eina B'chol Noitel, it's not a guy B'chaluk. But the Ma'aseh, the father had it. Because the Gemara did not say it didn't have it B'chlal. Because it did not in a Domi in a Raya. Eina B'chol Noitel, B'roch the Muzik, but after your father has it, so the question is Roy Muzik. So the Tatzah. The Tatzah.
No.
But the Gemara did not say that.
No.
Ila Tel Yavon, Mashma didn't get B'chlal. But
That's
once
again, that's the question of the Rimigash. The Rimigash says the simple words, if it didn't come to the hands of the father, means it didn't come to the hands of the father. So if that's true, he says the Gemara's language is not true. Shouldn't be Royu, should be if the father didn't receive it, so after the death, they receive it because the Kohanim is a gift that went to the kids. It's not with the father anymore. So therefore it's not inheritance altogether. So instead of talking about that it's Roy and the Bechor doesn't receive Roy on the Muchzok, it's not to do with the father anymore. It's not the father's inheritance, it's their gifts. So the language of the Gemara is not proper. This is the problem of the Rimigash. We mentioned yesterday.
But even in my say we say,
And the Rashbam
if we say
and Toysves did not relate to it. The gears of the Rashbam is, as we read before, Royu. The question is why. So the Rashbam, later on the Gemara seems to be holding that the father did get it somehow.
you have to say that because I understand like this from the Gemara that the Gemara says we have the Mishnah said Tomer Rabbanon. You have there 5 things. You have there Israel Chai Kevam or Bishvash Shov Achamid Savim. Achamid Savim is not that Shvach. It was not the time of the father.
Right.
So you see, even something not the time of your father, still it gets Pishtayim.
Good. So that's the Rimigash problem. That's when he erases. He had such a strong kasha. He didn't stay with a kasha. You erased the Girsa here. That's a very strong move.
But still they have to say that.
Let's see the Rashbam. Ro'uhu. Rashbam dibur amatchil ra'uhu. So the Rashbam says, Deloidomi leshvocho shishbicho anechosim.
Which can have a as a dame.
One second. He says, one second.
You have to say loidomi.
1 second. The Tosefta brings down a list of things which a Bechoir receives double. Zvan Chaim Vekev and Mukdoshim. That's one group. The other group is Shvach Sheshovchu Nechosim Lachis Aviyim. And he brings like a cow, the rental and a lease of a cow, or babies from a cow. So he says, when the Gemara's question is, the Gemara is really asking that it's not similar to the second group. Right. What is they? I didn't say veloidomi. Rashi is not asking a question. It's not Rashi's question. It's not the Rashbam's question. He says, he's not saying veloidomi. Royu deloidomi. De means it's part of the question. The Rashbam is saying the most kasha is that the case of Zorah L'chaim Bekeva is not a similar case to Shvach Shvach Nechosim L'chamis Azavim. Why? Which there is Muchzok. Correct. The cave on the Ava Avu and Muchzok B'Nechosim. Since the father in the second group is holding the cow, and the cow themselves, the object, the asset themselves became mushbach, means better, more value, benefit. So then I can say, since the father held the animal, the asset itself, and from the asset itself it grew to another level, became a shvach by itself. So then, it's as if he's holding the shvach, although he's holding the object, but the object itself, from the object itself, the shvach came. So I'm holding the essence, the roots of what's coming out. I consider what's coming out as part of what I'm holding. So the father held it in his lifetime. So it's inheritance of the father. Aval, but Aval, when we finish, I'm going to make a second diuk to your question. The next line and a half. Aval ani matonois, but those gifts of Zorah L'chaim Bekeva, lo yizocho behem avim klum michayim. It says clearly, lo yizocho behem avim klum michayim. See, right away he falls into the question of the Rimigash. He says clearly, no dilly-dally, no, you mean this, you mean that. No, he says no. Aval ani matonos, but those matonos, lo yizocho avim klum michayim. The father did not merit nothing of them. The klum, what's the word klum means? What's the word klum? Nothing. Klum, nothing. Lo yizocho en avim klum. The father did not merit anything of it at all. Mechayim, when he was alive. Vekulam, and all those three gifts, Zorah L'chaim Bekeva, Abu Shvach, it is a Shvach. So then the question of the Migash and the Rashbam is very strong. Hey. The Rashbam says clearly that Lo Zocho Bohem Aviem Klum Mechayim. While he was alive, he didn't merit nothing of them. Not something, part, nothing. He didn't merit nothing. So therefore the whole thing is a Shvach. So Lichora the Rashbam, the Kasha should not be Roi. Should be, is not the inheritance of the father. It's a kids' gifts. It's not a Shvach of the father. It's a gift of the children. It's a very strong Kasha on the Rashbam. And the Rashbam.
Major things is the father didn't have his hands to do anything with the Shabbat after he died.
That's why I'm saying more. He didn't do. It has nothing to do with the Shabbat until he dies, and therefore nothing to do with it. No, nothing to do with the goof and Shabbat. There's no goof. The whole thing is a Shabbat. The Sefer, he owns the goof while he was alive, and the Shabbat came later on. So it's as if he's part of the Shach, because the Shvach, the root of the Shach is coming from the asset themselves, and themselves became Shvach. So you can say the father's holding it. So it's his father's inheritance.
That's compared to David and Noah?
Compared. But in a way it's worse. It's compared. But, or the same, could be the same, could be worse. I don't know. But what we talk about here is, what we're interested in is Zohar Chaim V'Keivo. Zohar Chaim V'Keivo, those gifts, the whole thing is a Shvach. It means he didn't merit nothing of it. Nothing of it. Nothing of it.
What's the problem with the Shvach? Shvach also is not Yerusha and Shvach.
What?
What is the problem?
The father didn't have a goof. He didn't hold the goof that the Shvach will be connected to him. The whole thing is a Shvach.
So what? Shvach also Yerusha and Shvach.
Yes, you're right.
What do you want to say?
Who says you have to be Zoiche? You can have Shvach, you can be Shvach. Also, Yerusha and Shvach. Who says you have to have Gufa and Shvach? Shvach alone is also can be Yerusha and Shvach. Who says you have to have Mulzak and Etzem and Shvach? Shvach alone also you have Yerusha. And this will go with the Chidush the Rashbam. The Rashbam is Mechadesh and no Chidush. That you have Yerusha by Shvach.
But why?
Oh, why is it Shvach? Shvach, you get money. It's Shvach. Shvach of the father.
But it's not Shvach of the father, it's Shvach of the children.
No, because
Where's the goof that creates a Shvach?
You say there is no goof. We don't need a goof.
You don't need a goof.
Want to say there is no
You don't need a goof.
So what is it?
Is good enough.
Okay, the Shvach of the children, not their father.
No.
It says, Lo Zocho Behen Avim Klum Michayim.
No, he was not Zoiche. The goof. But the Shvach.
Could be coming Mele, okay, can come in Mele, but the father wasn't Zoiche.
The goof. But the Shvach, yes. The goof and the Shvach, yes.
That's the Gemara's problem. The Gemara's problem is why the Tosefta says that the Bechor gets double, it's low, it's potential. Right. So we have a problem with the Rashbam's Girsa. Because according to Rashbam's understanding, it shouldn't be defined as potential, it should define as zero. Because it's not an inheritance of the father. It's a gift of the kids. The father is dead.
It's not a potential. Shvach is not potential.
What is it?
It's existing, but it's not a day. And the
How it exists from whom?
because the coin will give.
But what can I do? The Rashbam didn't say it didn't exist. But he says it doesn't exist in the father's life.
But he says
Lo Zocho B'Elavim Klum Michayim.
But he says the Kulam Abishvach.
Good.
Hey, the Kulam Abishvach.
But he also says Klum Lo Zocho.
You have the Chayfet.
Which Chayfet?
This is Kulam. Shvach is Kulam.
Shvach from what? Shvach from what? What was Mashbiach?
What Mashbiach?
Mashbiach what?
The Behemah sound, every Behemah.
The name has nothing to do with me.
Wait a second. Every coin has matters 21st kuna.
Good.
So maybe every coin has a shvach. They get matters kuna.
Good.
So then he has a
But it doesn't do with the goof. There's no connection to
You
the
don't
goof.
need the goof.
Why don't you need the goof?
You don't need a goof.
Why?
You don't need to be hold. I can be zoiche like I gave you example. I'm zoiche and Yavu b'deisek or b'deisek.
One second.
And something you don't have to do the chayfetz himself.
You know what you're saying?
If
Reb Shlomo, relax. You're saying something that doesn't make sense. I'll tell you why. Now, let's say in the room here you have 5 Kohanim, okay? And now, in Argentina and Uruguay, somebody told me yesterday, there's 6 million cows. There's 3 million people and 6 million cows, okay? Right? Okay. They grow them. Right now, the 5 Kohanim have 6 million Zolach HaKeva. If Jews owned it. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Not true?
Yes.
Not true!
Yes.
Much yes, not true. When you shech the animal,
They have it with
when you shech the animal, there, an animal could be even money with mafrish. Okay, let's say shechita. But before shechita, before afrosh, there's nothing.
It belongs to them. You have,
Belong to, when I have a cow, the coin owns all the kind of keva? No. When I shecht, yes. Or it could be when I shecht or when I separate. But before I shecht, before separate, not shechita, nothing, coin has something in it.
it has shva.
One second, I'm finished. But the Rashbam says no.
What?
The Rashbam tells you that I'm not zoiche. Lo yizocho bohen avien klum echayim.
The goof. But the shvach, yes.
What's
The
wrong?
zochel bohem, the chayfetz himself, the goof. But the shvach, yes.
Which goof and which one?
It's dead.
Every chayfetz has a goof.
Which chayfetz? Tell me which
The
chayfetz.
zohar behind the keva.
Yes,
He
okay.
does not zoich the chayfetz himself.
Klum echayim. Good,
Because it is not here yet.
good.
It's not here.
It's just an animal.
But it has the shvach of it.
What's a shvach? Shvach of what?
Shvach that soon will become there.
No,
As soon as coming there.
he wants to say that the Shva already belongs to all the Kohanim.
All the Kohanim.
Before
when he gets
the
it.
Behemah is Shachut. That's what he
belongs
wants
there.
to hold.
Amen. It's zoich
And that's what you're saying, that if a coin comes and takes the Kohanim before the Behemah is dead, he didn't steal.
Right.
What?
Shvach belongs
No, it
there.
only belongs to him when he's Shachut.
Very hard.
That is considered lemafreya, we say that way. But really, because also is. You don't have to have, like I said, it's bound to be mafreya. That is really was it. That is it. But really, because like it's a gzeila. It really is. It's considered.
First of all, there's 2 problems with what you're saying. What you're saying is nonsense. Number 2, the children also have rights, also Kohanim. So why do you have to get it to the father? They got it to themselves.
They gave it to the father.
Who gave it? Who gave the guy? They got to give it.
No,
They got to give it an animal. In the time, if I just had an animal running around the field.
but then he's struggling. That's it.
I'm asking you 2 questions. Question number 1 is against the svara that when the animal runs around, have something in it. Number 2, before shechita. Number 2, what the kids are doing with the father, they're also koyanim.
Agreed. It's an equal.
So nothing to do with him.
Oh, it also belongs to the children. Also the father.
Also belongs to the whole tribe.
Okay.
So they didn't get, but it's not an inheritance of the father. It's 1 out of 50,000.
And 1% as an
So the inheritance is 1%. So I get, at the 1% I get the double of 1%.
1%. Yes.
The double is on 1% or double? No.
No, at that potential.
No,
At that
on
potential.
1%, let's say, not 1%, 150,000 piece, and that I get the double,
Yes.
it's not even kazais.
What?
It's not even kazais.
You don't need that.
It's not Shabbat Pute.
That's the Mishnah.
It's not Shabbat, but the Mishnah says he gets a gift.
No,
It's
it's
a
not
gift.
Mishnah put the fact.
Come on. Shleim, it doesn't make sense.
No, it means the same potential. You said-
Potential of what? Potential of what? Of who and what? They're also Kohanim. What does it do with them?
Also, the father's a coin.
Good.
They're both
They're Kohanim. Mostly the brothers are Kohen, and they have our cousins Kohanim, and their second cousins are Kohanim, and the whole neighborhood is Kohanim.
Everybody's like that. Everybody's like that.
But it's not to do with Yerusha.
You're saying the father has more of it than the kids. Why?
They're not equal.
Every Kohen has
He's 1 out of 50,000. That's why this Rashbam, that's why the Rimigash was so nervous. He erased the language of the Gemara. But let's see again what the Rashba answers,
Right.
and let's see if that answer fits in our Rashbam.
Makes more sense.
So let's see the Rashbam, the Rashba inside. Yes. Okay.
There's a little bit of an issue here because the Russian, the Zohar, did say Kodesh.
Who talked about the commitment? No, you're jumping already. Who talking about a commitment to a specific coin? No, you said you added the word commitment to a certain coin. That's already Gemara's answer. Don't know. Good question. Good question. But doesn't say commitment. It doesn't say added. You added two words. Commitment to a specific coin. Those things, those languages are Gemara's answer. I can't say anything. I can't say anything. Definitely what you're saying I can't say. I cannot say anything, and definitely what you're saying I cannot say. Let's add it to the words. So let's see now the Rimigas questions inside. Girsas Asforim. What? Right, I agree to that. I'm not arguing. It says, those matonos, the father in zoich in his life, anything, and the whole thing is shvach. Good question. Good question. Who said zoich is kone, first of all? Okay. See, if you're going to be in my shiur in the next day or two, or three, you understand in a very deep way what it means zoich. I mean, there's a kovet shiurim, there's a nesiv, there's a k'tzois, there's my pshat. We're going to have beautiful pshat. You're going to dance on the table here, my pshat. There's Rad Hashem. Beautiful pshat, I say. So I'll tell you know what? I'll tell you already the futures. You like futures? In the Rashbam, if you look at the Rashbam later on, if you have a Gemara in front of you, you will see that the Rashbam defined the word zoiche as a kinyan. Where? One second, relax. I want to show everyone, you're pressed, I show you where. The Rashbam later on says the word, there's two lines before the end of Dibor Amatri Vishachi B'chayavon. Where is it? It's three lines from the big lines of the Rashbam. The Rashbam defines Zechia means maknu. Okay, but that's already the answer. So we see the word Zechia, he uses sometimes the word Zechia, and sometimes he uses the word maknu. Okay, so we see here the word Zechia means akno, the kinyan. Now what does that mean? How does it work? We're going to learn a lot about it, believe you me. This is our subject the next few days. But now we now in a question. We don't know anything about akno. We don't know anything about a specific coin which has a relation, a family relation with those guys, with the people of the city. We don't know anything about that. We just know the firstborn son, he gets double share and zolach in the cave. What's the case? If the father got it, it's a mohzek pshita. If I didn't get it, it's roi. So I had a problem. The language roi is not a good language. So let's see the Rimigas question. I'm reading the Rashba inside. Girsas Asforim, the gears of the books. If it didn't reach the hands of the father, it's Raui. The first Rashba on the page. The first Rashba on the page we sent out. V'arav Rabbeinu Yosef Alevi Zal. Yes, Reb Shmuel. Yes. Rabbi Yosef, can you send them? I sent you one. Moshe Yosef, can you send to Reb Shmuel?
Just give them my phone number first of all, that way I can send them anything they need later on. Because
One second. Speak to Reb Michael 1 second. 1 second.
we're gonna need Write down my phone number, and then you'll be able to send me your email, and then I'll be able to send you the shiurim and all the pages that we get here. So my phone number is 050-229-3407. 07. On WhatsApp, on anything, you call me later after the shiur, and then I'll be able to do it.
Nobody said he needs now to
If
pay.
you need it now, then we need another phone, and I need your email. I have the email of Yossi Ponak, but I don't have Shmuel B has the email. Once again, you have to do
Slowly, we'll get the technology.
מה לעשות זה? יש כאלה עושים מסדרים את זה, צריך גם לסדר. גם לסדר זה יותר מאוד. רואים מכאן
gmail.com. Okay. All right, I'm going to try to get another phone and send you that. Anybody else? What about Chaim Fisher?
שבח, זה מוזכרת, לא אכפת לי דבר.
גם יש
Chaim
גוף.
Fisher, can I have your
אז זה
email?
מתייחס לגוף, הוא מוחזק בגוף, אז מה זה שבח? פה זה רק שבח, לא מוחזק כלום.
I don't use the email. So how can we send stuff?
כי זה בא מעצמם, אז גם פה, זה בא מעצמם.
Before the separation, those three things are just the animal. When the
What?
separation, those three things
In the animal.
are just the animal. After the
In the
separation,
animal.
it becomes stop.
Again?
When it goes, when the two portions go to the Kohen of the core,
Yes.
of the
One
core.
second.
When he separates it, before it was the animal, after he separates it, it becomes shvach.
Yeah. Before it's just the animal.
So the subject of idolo ate liyadei amahud is the shvach of the bakor.
Right.
Okay.
Arav Rabbi Yosef Alevi Evir Alakumus. He erased this language of the Gemara. Why? Deloi mikre roi. He says that's not called Raui. Elo only, Raui of the father's assets. Elo b'meshe bo aleim, only what comes to them or on them. La'achar misasavim, after the death of the father. Mikoach avim, from the power of the father. Ve'elu, those ro'al l'chaim v'kevo, lo notlu klum b'matonas elu, they didn't receive anything of those gifts, machmas avim, because of their father. Ela machmas atzman, because of themselves, rather because of themselves. Then the chosim shel atzman is their assets. They don't do their father. What do you want to say, Reb Chaim? I don't understand what you're saying. No, Paul says it. Shmuel, we sent you the first page. Yes, Reb Chaim, go ahead. What's your question?
Has a definition that's related to the father somehow.
So, we'll do it somehow. We want to know, then we don't know how that's somehow.
I know we don't know.
So we don't know. So what are you adding? What are you adding which is talking? We're adding, if we're going to give an answer to the question of the Nikash, so good, but we're not saying anything. We want to know how is this. What are you adding? What did you add, Reb Chaim, but you said talking? What did you add?
It's not a head rock when he said
That's
that's
not accurate. You're not saying anything. He said, if I give a solution to this question, it's not accurate what he's saying. Give an answer, a solution.
It's not a head rock when he said. It's not a head rock. It's only a possibility in Torah. That's what we're adding.
It's not a hechach? Why is it not a hechach?
Because if you use the word zocher, you don't know what the facade is.
He said, I don't know what's a pshat. That's his question. Yeah. Yeah, he says, I don't know. I'm missing information. According to the information that I received, it doesn't make sense. To the level that he erased the language. Comes the Rashba and he says, the Rashba says, Vegirsas Arav Vegirsas Arav Zal, the Girs of the Rimigash. If he didn't receive, he didn't come to the hands of the father, Amai. Instead of saying define as Raui, he erased the word Raui, and he wrote in Amai. Why the children should receive Kloima, which means Nichse Atzmonen is their own assets, don't do with the father. The Girsos Mechuberes and the Girs of the Rimigashes make sense. Umikol Mokum, however, Yeshi Leyashiv, he wants to give an answer. Yes, Reb Moshe. It means because of their own rights. The children are Kohanim and they have their rights to receive the law again themselves. They know the father is dead. He doesn't have any more rights. He's dead. And they have rights, their own rights. He's a dead Kohen. So their own rights. Nichseatu means it's their own rights. It's their assets. They're not Yoshim. Yoresh means it comes from the father to me. If the father is dead, and only after the death of the father the rights came in, so they get on their own for their own things. It's their assets, nothing with the father.
Why do they get it? There's other Kohanim also.
What? Why they got it? Because the Israel wanted to give it to them. Not what he gave them. Israel gave it to them. For some reason, he met them in the streets, what? He gave the children. So what do fathers do with that? He died, he didn't receive it, it's finished. So then, Amai, not do with their father. It's their own assets, their own gifts that they receive themselves. What? That's the most kasha. Either also the avun, if it didn't come to the hands of the father, which means it came to the hands of the kids, not the father. What does it mean?
Of the case, it is not clear.
It didn't come to the hands of the father. That's Gemara's language. So what is it? So now the kids get double on what? It didn't come to the hands of the father. So it didn't come to the hands of the father and the kids get double. It means it came to their hands and they get double. We talk about the kids. That's the mission of the B'chaisa's subject. Abechol noitel pishnai. What? I don't know if he gave to them or not, but they're talking about it. And they're taking from it for themselves. Because you get double portion or not. Simple portion also double. And the father didn't receive it. So it means they got it. That's what it means. Umikol makom in any place. Yeshli leyashev girsas asforim. He says, anyhow, there is for me to settle the girsa of the books the way the Rashbam has. And now he adds information. The question is, what he adds can fit in our Rashbam or not. Even the makshe of the Gemara felt, he used the word regesh, margish. He felt what the Gemara answered. We talk about friend, somebody that is a friend of the Kuna. What you said, Reb Chaim. And I right away attacks you. Doesn't say in the Gemara anything about it. You're adding to it. The Rashbam adds that to the Gemara. It says, although the Gemara answered it, but we have to say that the Gemara's kasha, the Gemara felt that this is the case. Sheken,
Tovas Hanah here?
not Tovas Hanah yet. To Makir Kuna.
Yeah.
It means Tovas Hanah.
Yeah.
Tovas Hanah, which I will explain what you said. The Ainu Makir Kuna, we talk about people which friends of this Kohanim, the people of the city or the Israeli which has the animal, they are friends of this Kohen. Shekain, I'm reading the Rashba. Shekain derech Talmud. This is the way of the Gemara. Bekama mekoimois in a couple of places. Sha'amakshe margish k'tzat batirutzim. One who asks the question feels a little bit part of the answer. Umachnisom be'emes. Wow. He shoves in with a hint, betoich dvorov, in his words. He says, you're right. The Gemara should not have said Raui. The Gemara should have Amaya is their money. Is their assets. Don't know the father. But why did the Gemara use the language Raui? Because the Gemara hinted already that we know about friends. Vachi perushoy. And this is what it means. If it didn't come to the hands of the father, and afilu, v'afilu, is what v'afilu means? And even. When the Gemara had a kasha, the Gemara understood that possibility in the Gemara's answer. But the int, which means the worst that you can answer is friends, and even that is not good. But afilu makiri kuno, even though he's a friend of the family, of the Kohen, the Kohen is a family friend. Vezeh, and the owner of the animal, Noiselim is giving the gift to the family, because he knows the friendship of the father. So he's giving, the reason of the gift is because the friendship of the father.
The father is dead already.
If he didn't come to the hands of the father, the language really the Gemara should have asked is not inheritance, it's their money. But he's saying, but even if we get to say afilu b'makir kuno, this guy, the owner of the animal, the Jew, the soil, Noiselin is giving to the Kohanim children. Machmas hakoras avim, because of the friendship, knowing the father, their father. So wait a second. So now the gifts, the reason of the gifts to that family, that Kohen family, is because of their father, the friendship of their father. The Jew is giving, the Israel is giving those gifts to them, not because of them, because he knows their father. So it was still, even if because it's a friendship of the parents, Mikol Mokum, however, Kol Shelohurmu, as long that it was not taking out from the animal, wasn't separated from the animal, Royu, as low as his potential.
But the father did not say.
1 second. What did the Rashba add to the Gemara's kasha? And how he got out of the problem of the Havamim. Okay, let's go over again. So now, the Gemara's kasha, what did the Rashba added in the knowledge when he answered the kasha? Kasha of the Remigash was how the Gemara defines that the father didn't receive the Matnas Kuna Tzoroi. It's not Roi. It's not with the father's inheritance, it's their inheritance. He says, no, the Gemara knew that. And the Gemara could have asked if the father didn't receive it, it's nothing to do with the father. But he said that even if you're going to Hakachainik, that he gave it because he's a friend of the father. But so what? It's only a reason why I gave. But it's not ownership of the father that the children inherit from the father. It's just potential. What does that mean? What do you hear? Which means the Gemara understood there's a possibility of Makiri Kuna. And the reason why I'm giving it is because of the father.
It's either the fruits or the.
So 1 second. So I'm giving those gifts after the death of the father to the children because of the father. So really I'm giving it to the father in the grave, and through the grave it goes to the live children? What is he saying? And the Gemara says still, it's Rawi, it's considered Rawi. What did the Rashba add anything? I don't understand the Rashba's answer.
That is the language of inherit through the Yerusha Bekever. Yerusha Bekever.
Normally Yerusha Bekever means, let's say there's a grandfather, and the son died, and the grandson now wants to inherit it. So he inherits through the grave of his father. That's called Mishmush Bakever. We'll learn that sugya later on.
It doesn't make sense. It looks like.
But that, 1 second, we're asking, I don't understand what the Rashba added. The Rashba didn't give it any answer. The kasha was, let's go, what was the kasha and what does the answer? The kasha was of the Rimigash that if the father didn't receive it while he was alive, is the children inherit, is the children's gifts. So he says, no, the Gemara really understood a little bit of the answer, that maybe he gave it because he was a friend of the father. So the reason of the gifts is the father. So therefore it's like inheritance of friendship of the father. And therefore Moses says it's wrong, it's potential, not muhzak.
It's easy.
Enough, if I know your father and therefore I'm giving your gift, has to do with your father's inheritance?
The question is.
So what does he add anything?
The question
It's his stories. Yes, sir. Yes, no, 1 second, David, yes.
The question is whether or not this is like the fruits or of the land, or if it's a calf.
Nothing to do with fruits. It's not the question. It's not the
If you
question.
say he doesn't inherit, if you say it's just the father.
No, he's saying it's not the father. We're saying it's
So he's
state.
saying it's going to give it to
We're
the
taking
kid,
a
so
side.
So then it's a calf in the mother's stomach.
Nothing to do with the fathers, the two children. What did he add? We know what the Rashba added. Yes.
I would like to say that maybe.
1 second, Chaim. The Michal 1 second answer.
I would like to say maybe we could say that when the guy says because of the father, what he's saying is, I really wanted to give it to your father,
But he's dead.
but he's dead, so I'm giving it to you. But really, in other words, the fact that I really want it to the father, that makes it raui enough.
What is it? That's what he knows words. Paka paka.
I know.
Logic. Because I wanted. There's a very famous song. Lu Haiti Rothschild. La 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 la. So what? Lu. Imagination. You're not Rothschild.
So he's saying that
The father's dead.
he's saying that those gifts will always be given to those kids, which means
It was giving to the kids because of the father. And the Gemara says that's considered holy. The question, come back. It's still giving to the children. That's stories. That's history. That's reasoning. There's nothing to do with the father's inheritance. What?
We'd ask in the Gemara, because these gifts always go to that Cohen, does he have a right to take it? If he takes it, B'di'evet, can you take it back?
What?
B'di'evet, can you take the gift that the Cohen takes? Because he always gets it. The Cohen always gets it. If he takes it, is it his or does he have to give it back? Because he has Tova Sano, all the time he gets a gift.
Tova Sano.
So he grabs it. Does he have to give it back? After he grabs it?
He didn't but he didn't grab.
The Gemara. That's why it's Ruby is a pashat. You're asking what is he saying? He's saying a pashat and the fact that it's Ruby. It's Ruby. Because we see that with the gift of the Cohen that was by the owner, if the Cohen comes, always has it, he always gets it, and one day he comes and he takes it, does he have to give it back?
No.
He doesn't have to give it back.
Right.
Because the value of Tova Sanoah, what's the value of it? It's just the value of being able to give the gift.
1 second. Let's go to what you're saying. The Tova Sanoah belongs to the Jew, to the Israel, not to the Kohen, right? Good. So the ownership of the Zvala Chaim Kevo, who owns it until he gives it?
The Jew owns it.
The Jew owns it. And the father died, he didn't receive it. And I'm giving to the children because of the father. What is it add?
You're giving to the children.
Because of his
I'm giving that to the children and to the father. So he didn't add. The Rashba didn't add anything. What the Rashba gave you no answer, zero answer.
Because of the Tova Sanoah,
Yes.
That he
He's
always
saying something,
gave-
but he has to say
that he
more.
always gave that gift to that Cohen.
No.
And we see in the other cases in the Gemara where the Cohen comes and grabs it on his own after he had Tovus and all the time, is he obligated to give it back because it wasn't given to him by the Israel?
It's not obligated to give it back.
So how come?
You have to say
I don't know how come. You're asking a question. You're just adding another question.
No, I'm saying-
That's what Reb Chaim Alevi used to say.
I understand.
And you're adding just another lock. Another lock to the door.
Father made it
We want to
Rui.
open the door, not to give another
The
lock.
father made it Rui.
What is it the father made it door? The father's
His
dead.
relationship with the Cohen,
He had a
Cohen
zechut.
he made it Rui.
But why? Why? How?
because a moment
You know what's the word how? How?
Sure.
A moment is Makire Kahuna is Zeichet to the father.
Maybe. That's what he was trying to say. They explain how. You also said before, the kind of how. We know, but how? It's words. Those are words, but how?
The fact that he keeps it. doesn't have to
You
give
say from the fact the law is, that's explanation. We say why.
Why don't we say that somehow he
Yes.
gave all his life to the father as some kind of chazaka that those matanos really are his father. Before even the cow was there, because you always give to the father. So maybe those matanos were already belong to the father, and that's what the kids get.
One second. You know, all my let's have a Cohen. All my gifts belongs to Aaron Cohen. Because Aaron Cohen, if he would live till now,
You will get it.
he will get it. Come on, that's what you say.
I'm trying my best.
You're trying your best. We don't have best. One answer.
You've got to learn to say one cotton picking minute.
What?
I want to hear you say one cotton picking minute.
I don't know what you say. One
You ever heard
cat.
that before?
No, I don't hear the
Say it
word.
down south. You always say 1 minute. I want to hear you say one cotton picking minute.
I don't understand those words anyhow. So it doesn't matter.
No, but what he's saying is.
So
that-
let's get in a little bit more. Our time is, I only have 3 minutes. So I want to read the line and a half. There's a lot here. Yes, Reb Chaim. You could say with an explanation, because normally when I want to do, it doesn't make kinyan, it doesn't acquire, it doesn't belong, it doesn't make it belong. That was the question. The question still come back. The question is one thing and because of doesn't make it belongs to the father. So the question is, there's something missing here. And the answer is like you said, what's your name? Reb Yoshua. But how and what? This is the whole thing we're going to explain.
He has to grab it.
But we definitely see that in the Gemara, when the Cohen grabs it,
That's the most answer to how. And part of what we're going to have to understand, and the Gemara answer, let's see, Uparik, and the Gemara answers, the Makir Kuna, the Gemara says, the father was a friend of that Jew. The father Cohen, the little children Kohanim's father, which also was a Cohen, he was a friend of the family. We hold that matonish, which means limbs, those they didn't separate as if they're being separated. Would that change? Even if it is separated, but the father is dead, must be there's some kind of zechia, like Rabbi Yoshua said. It's good, but how it work? So you have to prepare the ktsos here below, and there is nesivas in the other page on top. There's a kovet shiur in here.
this says,
And there is a toisen ksubis.
Kenomer la'al,
A lot. There's a lot, but this is really laid the heart of the subject here.
what's the
What
last
really
word
happened?
mean there?
What?
Yishma, Lelishma.
Can need a lila yashva. It looks to me in that way. I want to answer the Gemara. He wants the meyashav the girs of Roi, that even the Gemara's kasha, they knew that the possibility is a makir kuna. And the Gemara says still it's potential. The Gemara says no, it's not potential. It's kimishuhumo, so it's more than potential. But that fact that the father got it because the makir kuna, that it's a fact we knew in the Havamim. that the father got it for somehow, he had some rights to it because of Makir Kuna. How works what? Zil Gmor.